What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin' Bats. What a crazy last 24 hours in Major League Baseball. We're going to talk all about it. The first big star, the first big signing of the offseason has officially happened with Blake Snell heading to the Los Angeles Dodgers, the two-time Cy Young Award winner that was absolutely dominant in the second half last year, has joined the reigning World Series champions and created quite the stir, quite the conversation in the baseball world. What does this mean? How is this happening? There was more deferred money involved. I'll talk all about the contract, the deferred money, what this means, and probably have a bit of a different opinion. Seemingly, from what I'm seeing, a different opinion on it than most people, which is fine. We don't all have to agree on everything at all times. But Blake Snell heading to the Dodgers, we'll talk about that. Bit of an update on Juan Soto and his current situation. Obviously, one of the biggest free agents of all time. Where is he going to go? He has not signed yet. And then we're going to talk a little bit at the end about the Angels and some fan questions briefly there at the end. But the big news. Blake Snell to the Los Angeles Dodgers, 5 years, $182 million. And you see that happen. And the first question immediately becomes, oh, great. It's the Dodgers. How much money is deferred? Here we go again. Well, the answer for that is 62 million. 62 million of the $182 million contract is deferred. So everyone's all up in arms here. It's created quite the stir in the baseball world. And as I mentioned, I think my opinion is going to be a little bit different than most. Most people may disagree with me here. But here's my thoughts. The general consensus seems to be that everyone's up in arms that the Los Angeles Dodgers, the reigning champions, have signed two-time Cy Young Award winner and deferred more money. Right now, Shohei's money is deferred. Teoscar Hernandez signed a one-year deal, and they deferred his money until 2030 something. All of their signings, essentially, over the last couple of years, they're deferring money. So one, there's the deferred money aspect, and two, there's the aspect that the big bad Dodgers, the best team in baseball last year, the reigning champs, have signed another great pitcher, and now their team is going to be even better. And there's no parity in baseball, and how can this happen? And there needs to be a salary cap, and this team's going to be too good. And my thoughts on the matter is that everyone is all up in arms before they even have a legitimate reason to be. We're acting like the Dodgers have already won the 2025, 2026, and 2027 World Series. Let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. Major League Baseball currently has the longest streak in its existence without a repeat winner. Also, Major League Baseball has the longest streak in the history of the four major sports without a repeat winner. There hasn't been a repeat winner since 1998 to 2000 when the Yankees won three in a row. So after that, the Blue Jays won back-to-back in 92 and 93. The Yankees in 77 and 78. The Reds in 75 and 76. And then in 72 to 74, the Oakland A's won three in a row. And 49 to 53, the Yankees won five in a row. So again, it's almost like we're just yelling to yell at this point. We're just mad to be mad. The Dodgers haven't won anything further than the 2024 World Series. There's more parity in baseball, the sport without a salary cap, than there is in any other sport. It feels like the fans mad at it. It feels like you're not mad at the Dodgers. Anyone yelling, you're not mad at the Dodgers. You're mad at the cheap franchise that you root for. If you're mad at this, you're defending billionaire owners. Cut it out. They're billionaire owners. If they wanted to spend, they could spend. But no, what they're doing is pocketing TV revenue and pocketing money from the larger markets going over the luxury tax. And then they get paid on that. And then they just sit back and kick their feet up, don't sign any money, and they rake in the cash. There's owners out there and there's franchises that do not care about winning. And that is the problem. It's not that the Los Angeles Dodgers are going out and spending their money and getting in players and making it a place that players want to go play. Of course, I want to go play with Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Of course, I want to go play with the defending world champion. Of course, I want to go play with an organization that wants to win right now and is willing to pay to do that. This is not a reason to be mad at the Dodgers for what they're doing. It's a reason to be mad at your cheap team. Every owner has the ability to spend millions of dollars and go get players. And if you're sitting there saying, well, certain places have a higher TV revenue and bigger markets make more money, of course, that's true in all aspects. But there's no reason to defend the smaller market teams that are kicking their feet up, pulling in money from these larger teams going over the luxury tax and that don't care about putting a winning product on the field. Look at a team like the Royals, who went from losing over 100 games the year prior to signing a bunch of players in the offseason and becoming a postseason team and legitimately having a chance. The Dodgers aren't ruining baseball by doing this. And I would argue we don't need a salary cap. I would argue more so that we need a salary floor. So the Dodgers aren't ruining baseball. More teams should be like the Dodgers. I get tired. The problem is these small market teams that don't care enough about winning. And they're trying to pull one over your eyes and say that they don't have the money. Of course they do. They're raking in cash from TV deals and from these larger teams going over the luxury tax. And then they're not putting a winning product out there because why would they? They're making more money not doing that. So there's that aspect, the parity aspect. Until there's not a problem. Until the Dodgers win 3 or 4 World Series in a row, there's not a problem. Baseball has the most parity amongst the 4 major sports. In the NFL, you know what's going to happen. The Chiefs are going to be there. The Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs have won a couple in a row, and I don't know, 3 of 4 or 3 of 4, I think. I don't know. In the NBA, they're one of 3 teams is going to win. The only teams to not make a World Series in Major League Baseball since 2000 are the Baltimore Orioles, Seattle Mariners, the Toronto Blue Jays, Oakland A's, Brewers, Pirates, Reds, Padres. That's 8 teams since 2000 that have not made the World Series. For reference, the NFL has had 11 teams that haven't made the Super Bowl since 2000. So there's that aspect. Again, the parity. I will argue. I feel like I'm in the minority. But until there's a problem, there's not a problem. And then let's talk about the deferred money. $62 million of deferred money for Blake Snell. $62 million of $182 million over 5 years. Okay. So if you take the 5 years and if you divide $182 million by 5 years, that would be an AAV of about $36 million. If all is even and everything is, what it is, that's about $36 million. $62 million of it is deferred, but that is literally just money not in Blake Snell's pocket. We have this covered. Deferred money isn't new, right? Rafi Devers has deferred money until 2030 something. Max Scherzer until 2028. The names, Freddie, the names go on outside of the Dodgers. There's plenty of deferred money out there. This is not this new thing. Bobby Bonilla did it many, many years ago. He's still getting paid. Deferred money ain't new. This is literally just money not in Blake Snell's pocket. So in terms of the luxury tax, the AAV for CBT purposes will be over $34 million of a luxury tax hit against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So essentially, with this deferred money, all it's doing is costing Blake Snell money in the here and now and saving money out of Dodgers owner's pocket in terms of what he has to give to a player. But in terms of the luxury tax and how much they're paying players, this is a $34 million hit to the luxury tax, which is less than $2 million difference of what it would be if he didn't defer any money. So their estimated luxury tax payroll, as we currently sit, is estimated in 2025 to be $321 million. That's $80 million over the luxury tax. That is insane. We should all want our teams to be doing that. You should all want your team to be just spending money in the here and now, deferring money if you have to, and getting it done. But don't be mad at the Dodgers. Don't be mad at the Dodgers for getting this done, for going out and having a team that's already getting Shohei Ohtani back in the rotation. And now we'll have a rotation in some form or fashion of Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, and then, you know, let's see, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw, Bobby Miller, some form or fashion of that for your 5 starter as we currently sit. So look, I get it. I'm in the minority here. I'm not mad at the Dodgers. I'm not mad at baseball. There's not a problem until there's a problem. If we want to revisit this, look, if the Los Angeles Dodgers lose to the Padres, if the Padres don't blow a lead in the NLDS, they don't blow a 2-1 lead and just need to win one at home or win a bullpen game against the Dodgers. If that doesn't happen and Blake Snell signs with the Los Angeles Dodgers, nobody's saying anything. Right? The Dodgers were one game away that they weren't favored to win from being another first round exit. So now all of a sudden, because they come back in that series, win the next series, and then win the World Series against in my opinion, a far worse New York Yankees team. Now all of a sudden we're all up in arms because they won the World Series and they keep getting better. But we wouldn't have that conversation if they lost in the first round to the Padres. There's not a problem until there's a problem. Okay? That's what I get frustrated about. And if there becomes a problem, guess what? It'll be addressed in the next players union and the next, contract there. But right now there's not a problem. We'll see. The Dodgers will be very, very good, obviously. If they win the World Series a few years in a row, there will be a problem. And then we can start talking a different conversation of, okay, what's the deal with all this deferred money? Maybe we need to pump the brakes with this luxury tax situation. Maybe we shouldn't just funnel the teams that go over the luxury tax. Maybe we shouldn't funnel that money to the lower markets, the smaller market teams, because that's not working. That's just allowing them to kick their feet up and take in the money while not spending any, and then that owner becomes more and more rich. Maybe that's something we can address in the next labor agreement. But right now, there's not an issue. The Dodgers have made themselves the place to be. When we look back on baseball history, we don't look back at those Yankees teams that won 5 World Series in a row from 49 to 53, or 2 in a row from 77 to 78, or 3 in a row from 1998 to 2000, and say, oh my God, oh my God, how did that happen? They were too good. That should not have been allowed. Spend less money. Spread out the superstars. Derek Jeter, you go here. Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, you go here. No, we look back on those Yankees teams with, 27 championships for the New York Yankees. The history of baseball runs through New York. Well, the only thing that's different right now is that the Los Angeles Dodgers are becoming what the New York Yankees were. They are spending money to put a better product out on the field for the fans, for free agents that want to play there, for the game of baseball. And we should not and cannot be mad at them for doing that. We should not say that they're going about it the wrong way. We should not say that they're hurting baseball. In fact, The other teams need to hop on board, spend their money, go outside of their comfort zone, and put a winning product out on the field. Because everybody in baseball, when it comes time for the playoffs, has a chance to win. Remind you, the 2023 World Series was the Texas Rangers against the Arizona Diamondbacks. You get in the playoffs, you have a chance to win. Spend money on players, put a better product out on the field, get to the playoffs, and then anybody has a chance. Blake Snell to the Dodgers, Cy Young winner in both the American and the National League, two-time Cy Young award winner, heads to the Dodgers for 5 years, $182 million. 62 million of that is deferred, but a huge, huge pickup. He announced it on social media, by the way. Logged on to Twitter. I think it was 3 minutes after he posted himself, photoshopped into a Dodgers uniform with the caption LA with the eyes emoji, announcing his own signing, the first superstar to announce his own signing since Shohei Ohtani around this time last year, going to the exact same team. So good on him. What a rotation they're going to have. Yeah, they're going to be very, very, very good. Good on Snell. Good on the Dodgers for doing that. And those are my thoughts. And look, we all might be sitting here right now. You might be listening and think, Ben, you're wrong. No, this isn't good for the game. It's bad. You're wrong. They shouldn't be able to defer all this money. They shouldn't be able to go this far over the luxury tax. I don't know, but I would disagree. And for those that disagree with my parity argument, baseball is the one sport, one of the one sport of the four American sports that doesn't have a salary cap, and it has more parity than the others. And you can say you disagree, but let's provide an argument with that. We're currently in the midst of the longest streak in Major League Baseball history without a repeat winner, which is also the longest streak in the history of the four major sports without a repeat winner. You get in the playoffs, it's all hands or go, all hands on deck. Anybody can win. Spending money just helps you get there and helps you have a better chance. But until there's a problem, there's not a problem. Now let's talk Juan Soto, because if Soto goes to the Dodgers, then we'll have a different conversation. No, Juan Soto is the biggest free agent out there, one of the biggest free agents of all time. I've been vocal about how I think he's going to the Mets. That's his landing spot, in my opinion. I think they're willing to spend more money. I think they're willing to go $50 million over what anybody else will, according to reports. I think the Mets and the Yankees are still the favorites here. But the update is that the Red Sox are pushing hard. Red Sox are pushing really hard. Apparently, their offer that was on the table, they have upped the offer in terms of dollars and years and are making a really strong push to get there. They did have a meeting with him. They talked about Fenway Park and the history. They talked about the history of the Dominican Republic within the Red Sox organization with Pedro and Poppy and Manny and those guys. There's a rich, deep history of Dominican players playing for the Boston Red Sox. And historically, if you also look at the Boston Red Sox and the best hitters that they've ever had there, historically left-handed. Ted Williams, David Ortiz. Like I know there's some righties, obviously, in there, Manny Ramirez, but historically, the Red Sox best hitters are left-handed. Ravi Devers. So Juan Soto has a couple of offers on the table. The Red Sox are pushing harder and harder. Another thing Juan Soto took to all social media a couple days ago to have this decision video put out. The decision is in, and he comes to this stage surrounded by microphones, sits down and says the decision is in, and it ends up being some advertisement for some drink company, and really just, I mean, it really got everybody involved. I think that this decision was coming and ended up being an ad for some drink company. So Yankees and Mets are the favorites still. I think Mets because of the money. Yankees are a favorite because that's where he was. The team went to the World Series. They are the New York Yankees. That history is deep and rich, and nobody needs to argue about the history of the New York Yankees. He also hits really well there. There's a short porch to right. A lot of factors there. The Mets, money. I think they are also in a position to win going forward. Red Sox are the Red Sox. There's a history there. Fenway Park, he could bang doubles off the wall. Palmer's over that short porch, over the porch and left, over the monster. He can probably move from right field to left field, which might be a little bit easier defensively. So Blue Jays still in play. Dodgers are still in play, but I would imagine this makes them a little bit less in play with the Snell signing. So Juan Soto, the picture is becoming a little more clear. Yankees and Mets favorites, Red Sox pushing towards them and becoming a favorite. Blue Jays are still in, Dodgers are still in. And those are, I think, the five that have the best chance of signing Juan Soto. But where does he go? I don't know. But it is going to be a historic decision. Wherever he goes, wherever Juan Soto signs, I would imagine he is going to wear their Hall of Fame hat, their hat when he heads into the Hall of Fame. So we'll see. Juan Soto decision, I have from what I have heard, will be coming before the new year. So we'll see what happens there. Uh, Another team making some moves that I wanted to talk about because I tweeted this out the other day about the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels signed Yusei Kikuchi, who after he went over to the Astros was one of the best pitchers in baseball. He ended up getting some Cy Young votes. Again, that's just in the top 10. That doesn't mean he got first place votes, but he did end up his name was in there, getting some votes, all right? The Angels signed Yusei Kikuchi, 3 years, $63 million. By far, the most active team this offseason has been the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The second they were able to, they went out and traded for Jorge Soler. They signed Kyle Hendricks, which look, I know. Okay. The guy wasn't good last year, but he's a veteran arm, can help a rotation, can get you some innings. They signed Travis d'Arnaud, Kevin Newman. So Yusei Kikuchi, Jorge Soler, Kevin Newman, Travis d'Arnaud from the Braves, Kyle Hendricks. There's a lot of signings or trades happening here for the Angels that are clearly invested in getting better. And and I tweeted out, I think the Angels deserve a lot of respect for the offseason they've had so far. From signing Kikuchi, trading for Soler, getting Newman, Hendricks, d'Arnaud as well. I think they deserve a lot of credit there. What do you want them to do? Sit back and do nothing or make signings and then get made fun of because they're the Angels and no signings work. Their hands are a little tied there. They might as well make signings or have some good signings or make some trades. So I like to use the Royals as a reference here. The Royals lost over 100 games in 2023. They went out and made a lot of signings, right? Between Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, who were dominant in that rotation, and then Hunter Renfroe in the outfield, Adam Frazier, just multiple names, multiple signings that you would say didn't jump off the paper at you, right? Oh, really? These moves are going to make a big deal? And my point at the time was good on that front office because the contrary is your team loses over 100 games and then you sit back, you pay less players, you say, we don't have a chance. And the next thing you know, you are the Chicago White Sox who are making money by being the worst team possible and paying as few players as possible, as little money as possible. Instead, you can be the Kansas City Royals who go out and make signings and sign players that people would say aren't going to move the needle, but go out and a couple of those guys end up in Cy Young contention, and then you're a playoff baseball team. And baseball was back in Kansas City this year. And Bobby Witt Jr. emerged as an MVP type of player, even more so than he already was. And you had fans back and sellouts back in Kansas City and playoff baseball back in Kansas City. And a chance to win the World Series. That's what you want. You want a team, if you're the Angels, if you're an Angels fan, you want them going out and paying Yusei Kikuchi, who was dominant at the end of the year last year, and getting Jorge Soler to add into that offense, who can be a really good offensive guy to add a ton of pop. Travis d'Arnaud, an all-star catcher behind the plate. This is what you want. I hate when these signings happen and people say, "Oh God, you have these players signing with the death pit that is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim." What do you want them to do? I'm happy to see an owner stepping up and spending money. I'm happy to see a team stepping up and signing players to put a better product out on the field. It's plain and simple as that. Good on the Angels for going to sign players. Is it going to make them a World Series team? Probably not. And also, maybe they're not done. But is it going to make them a team that can at least compete to get into the playoffs? Yes, it is. Are they a playoff team? I'm not saying yes, but they certainly can compete to get there. And I said the same thing about the Royals. I said they would be better. I said they deserve a lot of credit. And baseball is now back in Kansas City. The crowd has something to be excited about. You can go to an Angels game and now have a, a product out on the field that can win baseball games. And that's all you can ask for. So I say good on the Angels for spending some money and going to get some players this offseason. Before we finish up, some fan questions. I got a couple good ones today. So some fan questions presented by our good friends at Go Sleeves, the best recovery tool on the market. Again, this is the kinesiology tape, the KT tape that you all know. You know that black tape that sometimes you see all over athletes. It's a good recovery tool. Well, this is that tape built into a compression sleeve. So it's a 2-in-1. It's a compression sleeve and it has the KT tape. If you're watching, you can see I'm holding it up now. This is this is the calf sleeve. There's also a knee sleeve right next to me. There's also elbow stuff. Go check out gosleeves.com/Verlander for 15% off of anything on there. But again, best recovery tool on the market. It truly is incredible. I wish I had it when I was playing baseball. There's, a lot of 49ers players wearing it. It's getting into the baseball space as well. But now I wear it when I play golf or play tennis or something, but I wish I had it when I play baseball. I really do. GoSleeves.com/Verlander for 15% off. Here's our fan questions for today. Let's start with best fit for Garrett Crochet. This question comes from Mike. Garrett Crochet is seemingly going to be traded by the Chicago White Sox. Really good pitcher, one of the best pitchers in baseball last year. Went from a reliever to a starter. His strikeout rate is through the roof. He showed that he can and will be a good starter. For me, I think the best fit, I really thought through this, and my mind keeps going to the Boston Red Sox. I'm hearing their name everywhere this offseason. With Corbin Burns, with Garrett Crochet, with Juan Soto. I'm hearing the Boston Red Sox name everywhere. And it hopefully feels like they're ready to go back into winning baseball. They let their fan base down. They owe it to their fan base since they let Mookie Betts walk out the door. They owe it to their fan base to be better. They're the Boston Red Sox. There's a history there. There's a winning culture there. Baseball is better when Fenway Park is packed in October. So it seems like they're into spending this offseason. And whether that's going to be Juan Soto or flipping that money elsewhere or trading for Garrett Crochet is yet to be seen. But I think a great fit for Garrett Crochet is going to be Boston. But that question comes from Mike. Thank you very much for that. Next question. Do you think the Dodgers upping the ante on spending will make the bottom feeder payroll owners spend more money, or will it make it possibly worse now that the ceiling is higher? This question comes from Mush Tater. Mush Tater. Thank you for that question. I think this is going to depend on the team, right? I think the Chicago White Sox are taking it one way, and the Kansas City Royals are taking it a different way, right? The Arizona Diamondbacks have been taking it a different way. So hopefully what this allows is in your words, bottom feeder teams, aka the smaller market teams, to just go spend more money. But I don't think the Dodgers upping the ante will be the reason for that. I think the reason for that could be the Kansas City Royals, who went out and after winning over 100 games, decide, hey, we're going to put a better product out there. And then you make the playoffs, and then next thing you know, you're a couple games away from getting hot and winning the World Series, right? Or getting to the World Series. So the Dodgers upping the ante, I think, will go a couple different ways. I think that's the nature of baseball right now, is that there's just different types of owners. You have owners that want to win and will do what it takes to win. And you have owners that view their team as an investment and just want to make their team the most profitable possible for them. And that involves pulling the shade over the fan base's eyes and saying, look, we made this signing, when in reality, you're just trying to keep the payroll as low as possible and you're trying to make the payroll as low as possible, get as much revenue from the other big market teams, luxury tax and TV revenue, and say the signing of, whoever, let's use the Pirates, Aroldis Chapman. Wow, we tried. Look at this signing that we did in the offseason. Nah, the Pirates, I'm looking at you. I don't think that team and that ownership is fully committed to winning. Hopefully that changes with Skeens and Jones and Cruz and Brian Reynolds, and seemingly a team that, look, the core's there. Let's go in. I know I went down a little side tangent here, Mush Tater. But my answer to your question, do you think the Dodgers up in the ante on spending will make the bottom feeder payroll owners spend more money? I think it'll make teams go. I think it'll really force owners to show their true colors. Do you want to curl up into a ball and cry poor as a billionaire owner? Or do you want to say, you know what? Let's spend and get in like the Royals did. Time will tell. Next question, last question. In the holiday spirit, since Thursday, Thanksgiving, if you have one baseball movie to show the family at Thanksgiving who may not know anything about baseball, which movie would you show them and why? A couple thoughts come to mind here. I often think when family gets together and there's this big get together, I think humor needs to be a part of it. So my mind goes to Major League, which is my favorite baseball movie. Is it fully appropriate at all times? No, you might get, auntie in the corner pissed off that the team is, taking a little bit of clothing off of a cardboard cutout of the owner. But you will get a lot of laughs from the family. So I think a movie like Major League is up there. And then, The Sandlot is a classic. I would go the classic route. One of my favorite movies is Bull Durham, but that's probably a little too in the weeds of minor league baseball and the grind that is minor league baseball. That's a great one, but if they don't know a ton about baseball, maybe stay away from that. I think a movie like Field of Dreams, maybe a little too emotional at times for Thanksgiving. You just ate a ton of food, your top button's unbuttoned, maybe zipper halfway down because you're so full. And next thing you know, you have a father and son, a father that's come out of the corn that's not alive anymore, that's playing catch with his son on the field. And next thing you know, you're fat and crying, fat, happy, and crying. I, I don't know. That just feels like a lot of emotions to me. So I'm going to go Major League or The Sandlot. Some classics would be my answer. Adam Fox, thank you for that question. Fun show. Happy holidays, everyone. The holidays are here. Baseball offseason rolls on. Blake Snell is a Dodger. What a fun show. What a fun episode. Thank you all, as always. Look, it's the holiday season. I love you guys. I love this community. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, wherever. You can watch every episode on our YouTube channel, Flippin' Bats Pod there. But sincerely, everything really does help. And to have this show and start it from scratch and to continue building it and want it to be the biggest, best baseball show on the market. We always talk so positive about the game, and you know, we just do things a little differently here on Flippin' Bats and celebrate the game of baseball as it should be celebrated. And I think that's the incredible community we've built here. And I love you guys. I love this community. Thank you all for everything. Again, subscribe wherever, follow along on all social media, watch every episode on our YouTube, like, comment there. I always get in the comments that you guys are the best. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll be back next week with hopefully some more signings as we get further and further into the offseason. But Blake Snell to the Dodgers is the big one. Wanted to come on here and talk all about it. Thank you guys. Love you all. Remember, enjoy the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. Until next time, find your bat and flip it. Peace.